The GCSE Maths Paper 1 is in less than 5 days, so now is the perfect time to be watching this video. I'm not going to waste your time, let's get right into it. Let's simply write out these mixed fractions as improper fractions and then add them. Then convert it back into a mixed number. Use our KFC method. Simplify it to make it a little bit easier. We can multiply both of them by 100, then use bus stop. Then make it so there's 3x in both, and subtract. And then solve for x. We can create an equation to represent this. We can say the total is equal to 4x plus 3x plus 6x, which is equal to 13x. Then the number of yellow counters, 6x, is equal to the number of blue, 3x plus 39. Then we can just solve. Let's just put everything in. And then we can write out the numbers that aren't covered here, which are odd numbers less than 30. Which are 3, 9, 13, and 21. 2/5 of the pots are unused, so we can just calculate that. And then small to medium to large can just be written as 1 to 3 to 12. If we write 1 medium to 4 large with 3 mediums, then we'll get 3 to 12. So then unused small pots are 1 over 16 times 160, which is just 10. And then we should read the question carefully because it asks us for the percentage in terms of his total pots, which is 2.5%. So we're looking for CAB, which is at the top here. This angle AED is equal to 180 minus 122, which is 58. And that is because angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. And then we can figure out ADE, which is also equal to 59, which is at the bottom right there, because corresponding angles are equal. So now CAB is equal to 180 minus 58 minus 59, because angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Which is 63 degrees. Let's find out the area of this bit on the bottom here first. We know that the volume is 24, and that volume is just the area times the height. So we can just do 24 divided by 4 to get 6 as the area. And then pressure equals force over area, as it says in the top right. So force equals pressure times area. Then we can just do 60 times 6. For 360. To find the mean weight, we could just find the total weight of the boxes. Subtract. And then divide. Now this is a fractional index, just like I've taught before. We'll cube root it and then take it to the 4th power. So with this graph we can find a few important details such as the median and such. Now we've got our box, so we can do our whiskers with 0 and 112. Excuse my box plot, I'm a little bit lazy to use a ruler. Okay, let's compare our distributions. So the delays on Thursday were longer on average because the median was greater, and the spread of delays on Thursday is wider because the interquartile range is larger. They say on Friday there were more delays between 24 and 48 than between 0 and 10. Is that true? No, that's not true, because we know that in between each of these sections there's 25% of the values. Let's move everything to one side and solve. This length here is 10 pi, and let's just call this theta. So we know that theta over 360 times the circumference is equal to 10 pi. And so we can solve for theta like that. Now let's find our area. Let's write our proportions out. Now we have them separately, we can combine them. Sub in our numbers like usual. Then let's find inverse g. I'll just write down g again down here. rearranging. This rule requires some careful rearrangement. And some careful multiplication. If they're perpendicular, you know that's the negative reciprocal. You can draw a tree for this if you like. Since we already removed the red marble, there will be one less red marble, and then the total will be reduced by 1 too. If the surface area is 25 pi, that must be equal to 4 pi r squared, so we can use that to get our radius. And then we can just put it back into our equation. Now we just rationalize our denominator here by flipping around the sign on the denominator. Okay, so let's complete our square. I like to take out the minus first, but you can do whatever you like. These kind of questions often take quite a while to crunch down the numbers. But now it's finally time to put the negative sign back in. So our turning point must be -2, 13. Oh no, a vectors question. Let's write our ratios down on the diagram first. Oh, I hate these questions. So now, since we know OC, we just know that OP is some multiple of it. We can also write OP in a different way. Perhaps O to A plus some multiple of A to D. And so now we know that these two must be the same thing. And so you can also get k. So now that we've got k as 2/5, we know that OP is 2/5 of OC. And so our ratio is OP to PC, which means that PC is 3/5 of OC. Which would mean that OP to PC is 2/5 to 3/5, or simply 2 to 3. And so I was hoping to not see a vectors question, but you can't improve on something you don't practice. Now, I hope this video helps you, but the practice does not stop there. You need to go out and practice yourself. That's the best way to go through this. So good luck, Radiant Scholar.